longer, then you're going to extend this pattern at the base by however much you want. Once you get the headpiece up here, it's pretty much the same thing that we've been using before. For this one, we've roughly got about 14 inches wide with about 15, 16 inches high. So I'm going to cut out some netting right now. So when you buy this netting, make sure you get enough for whatever you're going to be cutting out. Before cutting, you might want to put some weights down so that your netting doesn't move on you. As I go. So I'm just going that extra foot out. Since it's cinching here, this is probably a foot right there. Come straight across. That's your cuff. Since this is for Bruce, he's kind of a thick guy, so I'm going to come out about 1.5 inches on the torso, on each side. There's not a real problem with overcutting. So if you're going to do your cut, make sure you always overcut by at least 1 inch or 2. If you undercut, then this thing is going to be too tight and you've wasted all that netting. Here's our template for the full body piece. This is the front or back, it doesn't matter, you're just going to need an identical piece that you can sandwich together. And once again, you're going to be sewing the two pieces together by tying the camouflage at the very edge of both pieces. Well, you got your loose holes at the end of your sleeve. And just like we did, we're going to weave that elastic band through the perimeter, cinch it down so it's kind of a nice fit, and then tie it off. You don't really need those little draw plastic things. The next camouflage system is called a bush rag. It's pretty much a poncho that covers pretty much down past your shins. You've got holes for your arms. So it's a one-piece deal for your torso, your shoulders, down past your shins. Then you have an individual piece. This is your headpiece. It's camouflage tied into a piece of netting that is roughly 18 inches across by about 2 feet long. So we're going to show you how to put this thing together right now. First thing you're going to do is you're going to cut a little slit for your head to go through. So you find your halfway point by folding your body piece in half. And then I'm going to cut a hole for my head to go through. And if I overcut, or if you overcut, you can always take some of your burlap material. Say if this is too large, I need to kind of tie this back into place so that there's a smaller aperture for your head to go through. You're going to tie in burlap along the sides here. So I'm going to tie points, but I'm not going to go all the way to the top because this is where my arms are going to go through. But this feels like, you know, good loose fit. There's no belt that you need to attach this with. It's just like a smock that fits over. You're going to start tying in your burlap material or your synthetic. And you're going to want to put a lot more material up in the shoulder areas so that it kind of bushes up, it hangs down over your arms. And with the mass that you have here of netting, you're just going to lightly put in, you know, burlap, you know, every 2-3 inches you're going to tie in a bit. I have my headpiece here. What I'm first going to do is cut slits along the top, because if you have camouflage on this hat and you're in heat, a lot of the heat that your body actually releases comes out of your head. And so if you can cut holes to ventilate this hat, you're going to lose a little bit more heat. So I'm going to cut a whole bunch of holes. You can either cut slits like I've done to let heat out better, or you can just cut the whole top of the hat off. So you've just got pretty much like a ring around your head. We're going to attach this netting to it. This is the front of my hat. The netting should reach just to the tip of the rim. Along the sides there should probably be maybe like an inch overhang. And then the majority of the netting will hang over the back. This will be covering kind of your upper back and the back of your neck. We want to make sure that you don't tie it tight down like this, because when you actually put on your hat, it's not going to have any give for your head. Okay, attaching it, I've got a boonie hat here, floppy hat. It's got some loops, and what I can do is attach this netting to the hat via the loops. So I'll just take a little burlap bundle here and we'll tie this off with a square knot. Now, if you don't have any loops, any places to attach your netting to your hat, then what you're going to do is you're going to have to cut in slits along the side here. I've got scissors, which isn't the greatest thing. We'll try it anyway. Cut a little slit right here. And this slit's about an inch long. I take my burlap string, feed it to that little slit I just cut, pull it through my netting, and cinch down on it. So you'll cut, if you're going to have to cut slits along the edge, you're going to cut pretty much 6 slits around the entire rim. That way you're going to firmly put your netting onto your hat. I'm going to start tying in my camouflage material, whether it be burlap or synthetic. It's important to tie a lot of material on the very top of your head into this netting here. You should tie so much material that it becomes hard to find room in this netting to tie in. That will create such a crowd of material that it'll force the fibers up, and that will give you kind of a nice big bushy head. When tying in the material, you'll probably be tying in 8-inch lengths onto the top and around this section. In the back, you can use longer pieces to drape down. You'll be tying in stuff along the side here so that it'll camouflage the side of your head, but not actually your face. We got ourselves a sniper blanket. It's already made up. It's been made, as you can see, in a desert pattern. It's got the tans, it's got some browns, and it's got some blacks. Pretty much a sniper blanket is used to cover yourself up. Say if you're in the prone position, you can get underneath this sucker. Or if you're on a stalk, you can bring it up and kind of drape it over yourself. And then also with these sniper blankets, you can make them and use them for a blind. So you have, we're using that same 3/4 inch netting. I've reversed it. See, this is about 6 feet long by 4 feet wide. And if you're going to use this as a blind, you might want to have some real thin rope with you, or some elastic bands, so that you can tie some of these ends off to trees or to shrubs. Tying up into this branch, and take the other end. So I'm just using the burlap string to tie in. But if you have some cordage that you can extend farther off the burlap, then you have a greater opportunities in finding branches are farther away, tying in, and then draping it over the area that you want to hide in.